Morning folks, hope you're all well. So we're a week on from the undisputed light heavyweight title fight between Artur Beterbiev, who won, and Dmitry Bivol for all the marbles. And people still, a week later, are screaming robbery. Now, this was not a robbery. People need to stop this bullshit, because it is bullshit. It was no robbery. It was a close fight. It could have gone either way, in my opinion. I had it a draw on the night. I've watched it twice back since then, and I had it 115, 113 to Bivol the second time, and I had it 115, 113 to Beterbiev the other time. So it could have gone either. Anyway, I had it a draw. You can't scream and cry, realistically, either way. Whoever had won that fight, it wouldn't have been a problem. Now, I've noticed a lot of people, there's a lot of bias, a lot of people watch fights and they go by with their heart rather than their head. For some reason, Bivol was everybody's favourite, a lot of people's favourite going into this. No problem, I like both guys. I've got no dog in the fight. And I think sometimes people let their heart rule their head, and they just scream robbery all the time. This is a trend. This is a trend that I've noticed the past few years, especially. Every time there's a close fight, robbery, 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 robbery. Oh, robbery. This was no robbery. This was a fucking close fight, okay? I don't give a shit who you are. You can disagree with me all you want, that's fine. I'm just expressing my opinions. I don't give a shit who you are. That was a close fight. It wasn't a robbery. It wasn't... To me, a robbery is when it's very, very clearly a guy's won and he doesn't get the decision. For example, Pernell Whitaker and Julio Cesar Chavez from 1993. That was ruled a draw. Whitaker won that fight. That was a fucking robbery. Go back and watch that. That's a fucking robbery. Derek Chisora and Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius got the decision. Clearly a clear victory for Derek Chisora. That's a fucking robbery. Okay? This fight was not a robbery. And all of my all of my boxing friends, family members who are also big fight fans, all of us agreed it was close and it could have gone either way. That's fine. But I still see people online whinging and whining and screaming robbery. Now, every highlight video I've seen this week has been very, very badly edited, in my opinion, because it only shows Bivol's work. They're not pure factual highlights they don't tell the story of the whole fight. They just show a 3-minute highlight video. It's all Bivol. So anybody who just saw that would go, oh, clearly Bivol won that one. What's going on? Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. You need to watch the full fight. And I would advise watching it with the sound off. I watched the Sky feed live. I watched it live through Sky. And I noticed throughout the fight, I actually had this... Usually I turn the commentary off because I can't bear it. But that particular night, I had the commentary on. My wife was there. I had some family members around. And of course they don't want to sit in silence with the TV in silence, so fair enough, I had the commentary on. And I noticed throughout the fight, every time Bivol did anything, they were wetting themselves and screaming and oh yeah, oh look, oh Bivol with a combination there or whatever. But every time Beterbiev landed anything, they didn't mention it. And the highlights, the replays between rounds, were all Bivol. They didn't really show a lot of Beterbiev until the last 2 rounds. They were the rounds that really highlighted the work that Beterbiev was doing. Now, I'm not saying Beterbiev won. I had it a draw on the night. I'm not pro Beterbiev. I'm not saying, I'm not making a case. If you genuinely thought Bivol won, fair enough. But it was a close fight. It could have gone either way. This is the point I'm making. This was not a robbery. This was not a robbery. And I also saw a few conspiracy theories that Beterbiev only got it because he's a Muslim and Turkey allows Sheikh and the Saudis are Muslims. Well, that's been debunked and thrown out the window straight away because Turkey allows Sheikh... You see this look on his face. He wanted Bivol to win. For whatever reason, he wanted Bivol to win. It's the only thing I don't like about Al Sheikh. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate what he's done for the sport. He's thrown a lot of money into it. He's made big fights happen that wouldn't have happened, like Fury and Usyk, for example. That fight would never have happened without the money. Tyson Fury didn't want that fight, and we know why, because he knew that Usyk would give him problems, and the only reason it happened was because of the Saudis' deep pockets. So I'm grateful, and probably this fight wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for Turkey Al Sheikh and all his money. So, and he brought Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn together. That probably wouldn't have happened without the Saudi money. So I'm not criticising him too much. But the only thing I don't like about Al Sheikh is he has his favourites and he has his people that he wants to push. And I think, well, you're supposed to be kind of, neutral, I would think. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at this from the wrong point of view. But I think if I'm putting on big fights, 50-50 fights, so-called 50-50 fights, you're supposed to be a bit neutral. But he doesn't. I mean, he clearly favours Tyson Fury. He seems to like licking Tyson Fury's arse. And he seemed genuinely disappointed when Usyk got the decision back in May, even though Usyk, despite what the Fury fanboys who are now jerking themselves off in their mum's cellar, despite what they say, that was a clear victory for Usyk. Close fight. Fury had his moments, but it was a clear victory for Usyk. But anyway, that's a different fight. That's a different story for another time. And he looked like he was going to be sick when the decision was announced that Beterbiev had taken victory. So, and he was moaning about judges and all this, investigations. I've heard stuff that... Now, Dmitry Bivol, on the night, held his hands up and said, he was a perfect fucking gentleman. He said, this is boxing, I did my job. Artur got the decision, best man won, fair play, that sort of thing. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here. And he didn't whinge. Everybody else is whinging. It's like there's a young lady I follow on, we're friends on Instagram. She's very knowledgeable about the boxing, but she is obsessed with Dmitry Bivol. I mean, obsessed. She calls him my champion. A little bit obsessive. I love boxing. I have my favourite fighters, but I'm not obsessed by anybody. I'm obsessed with boxing, but actually individual fighters I'm not obsessed with. But she is slightly unhinged, I think, with the devotion to Dmitry Bivol. And all week she's just been posting shit. Oh, robbery. Oh, an investigation needs to happen. It's like, shut the fuck up. Watch it without the fucking commentary on. Watch it without the commentary on and just look. Don't just look at Bivol. Pay no attention to the replays. Don't look at highlight videos. Just concentrate on the fight. Watch the punches being landed. Now, both guys were landing stuff and it was being blocked. But Beterbiev was the aggressor throughout most of the fight. Now, again, I had it a draw the first time. I've had it to Bivol one time and I've had it to Beterbiev another time. I've seen it 3 times and I've had 3 different results, depending on what you're doing, and what you're looking for. Beterbiev was the aggressor. He was landing a lot of punches, and his punches were more hurtful, in my opinion. However, the more eye-catching stuff was coming from Bivol. So you can see, I can totally see how if anybody had it anyway, you're not wrong. It was a close fight. I would love to see a rematch. It really needs to happen just to clear up that bullshit, because it was a close fight. But people need to stop just screaming robbery all the time. It's every fucking fight. Or fix. That's what I see a lot of time. Like when Ngannou got wiped out by Anthony Joshua back in March. It was fixed. It was fixed. Oh, it was fixed. It's a fiddle. Shut the fuck up. Oh, a professional boxer, heavyweight boxer, who was a 2-time world champion, knocked out a novice in his second fight. Shocker. People just talk shit. And I get fed up with it. This is the problem with social media. I never used to do social media until 3 years ago. And I just see how many fucking morons there are out there. We can have a different opinion and we can disagree and we can discuss it like adults. Fine, it's like I get comments in these videos all the time disagreeing with what I say. But if you're a fucking adult about it, that's fine. But the ones who write all capitals just screaming at me and calling me names and swearing at me, sorry, I'm not going to read it. As soon as I see capitals or a big long rambling fucking bullshit message, I won't read it, to be honest. I just won't, because clearly you're fucking unhinged and you're a child. You can disagree with me and you can point out how you think I'm wrong and I'm talking complete bollocks, but do it in a polite adult way, and that's fine, and I will gladly read it. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Got a couple of big fights tonight. I will probably be back tomorrow to discuss them. Take care, folks, and I'll speak to you soon. I love you all.